All right, so get this. We're diving into AI today, specifically Microsoft Research's Magnetic-One.
Oh, wow.
It's like straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? AI handling everything,
Right.
booking flights, writing code, maybe even doing your taxes.
Yeah, like a personal assistant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We might be closer to that than we think, and we've got all these research papers and articles
Uh-huh.
all about Magnetic-One.
Cool.
So help me out here. What makes this Magnetic-One so special?
Well, the interesting thing is that Magnetic-One isn't just one AI. It's a bunch of them working together.
Okay.
Researchers call it a multi-agent system.
Okay. So what makes this multi-agent thing such a big deal?
Well, imagine trying to coordinate a team, and everyone speaks a different language.
Oh.
And they only have very specific skills.
Right.
That's what it's like with a multi-agent AI system.
Gotcha.
You've got all these specialized AIs, and they have to communicate, and they have to avoid, like, stepping on each other's toes, and they have to do all of that to achieve one goal.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it's a huge hurdle in AI development.
So how does Magnetic-One solve this communication nightmare? Because from the looks of it, they've got something called an orchestrator.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty official.
Right. The orchestrator is kind of like the project manager for the whole AI team.
Okay.
It looks at the task, it figures out which specialized AI is best for each part, then it delegates, and most importantly, I think it keeps everything running smoothly.
So I'm picturing like a bunch of AI slacking off and the orchestrator's there cracking the whip.
Right.
But seriously, how does it make sure that everything stays on track? Is it sending emails and setting deadlines?
Not emails exactly, but yeah, you've got the right idea.
Okay.
The orchestrator constantly monitors the progress of each agent. And if something goes wrong, let's say like a website changes its layout and the web browsing agent gets confused, it adjusts the plan.
Wow.
That's a level of flexibility we haven't really seen in AI before.
So it's like thinking on its feet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild. So we've got this super organized AI boss, but who are the specialized agents that are working under it? Like what kind of skills are we talking about?
Well, there's some pretty impressive examples mentioned in the research.
Okay.
We're talking about agents that can browse the web-managed files, even write and execute Python code.
Woo.
It's like having a whole team of superpowered virtual assistants.
Okay, let's talk more action.
Huh.
Give me a real-world scenario where Magnetic-One shines.
Okay, let's say you need to book a trip, but not just any trip. You have specific airlines, you like maybe layover limits, you want a window seat, and you need to coordinate with someone else's schedule.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
Totally a nightmare.
I once spent like 3 hours trying to book a simple flight.
Exactly. But with Magnetic-One, the orchestrator breaks down this impossible task. The web browsing agent searches for flights across different websites.
Okay.
The data analysis agent compares prices and schedules. And then the form filling agent handles all that annoying data entry.
So you don't have to...
All right, they even have an agent that can understand travel documents like passports.
Wow. So it's not just about automating simple steps. It's about understanding a complex task
Right.
and making decisions along the way. This is starting to sound a lot less like those chatbots that everyone's frustrated with.
Yeah, exactly. And because each agent is like hyper-specialized, they can do their tasks so much faster and more accurately than a human could.
So how do we know this isn't just hype? Like, how do you measure something as complex as this?
That's a great question. And the researchers have developed some really thorough tests. They used industry standard tests, like GAIA Assistant Bench and Web Arena. They simulate complex real-world tasks
Got it.
to compare different AI systems.
So how did Magnetic-One perform? Did it pass the test?
In the Web Arena benchmark, that's the one focused on web tasks, Magnetic-One finished 92% of the tasks it was given.
Wow.
And that was a 15% improvement over the best systems out there.
Okay, color me impressed. So it sounds like Microsoft is pushing the boundaries here. But what about access? Is this some top secret project that only a few people can use?
Actually, no. And this is what I think is most exciting.
Okay.
Magnetic-One is open source.
Wow.
That means anyone, developers, researchers, even you can access the code.
Yeah.
Mess with it. Build on it.
Yeah.
It's all about collaboration and pushing the whole field of AI forward.
That's really cool. So we've got this powerful AI system that can handle all these complex tasks, and it's open source so anyone can contribute to it. That's a powerful combination.
Definitely. But with these open source projects, you need a way to make sure that everyone is on the same page, right?
Yeah.
And that's where Autogen Bench comes in.
Autogen what now?
Autogen Bench. It's a tool they developed specifically to evaluate these crazy multi-agent AI systems in a standardized way.
Hold on. Why is that so important?
Well, if everyone is using different tests, you can't really compare results or even know if you're making progress. Autogen Bench. Make sure that we're all speaking the same language when it comes to evaluating these AI systems.
So we've covered a lot. We've got this incredible multi-agent AI system. It's open source. And there's a tool to make sure its development stays on track. What's the big takeaway here?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Magentic-One is a huge step towards creating what they call generalist AI.
Okay.
AI that can handle a lot of different tasks and adapt to new situations, not just be good at one thing. And that opens up so many possibilities.
Okay, so we've got the what of Magentic-One down, but I think our listeners are probably wondering about the so what.
Right.
How will this actually impact our lives?
Yeah, that's the big question.
And that brings us to part 2 of this episode. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the theory, but can we see it in action?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk more AI magic.
Okay.
Give me some examples of what Magentic-One can actually do.
All right, remember those tasks we talked about? Booking those really specific trips, editing documents, even writing code.
Yeah.
Let's dive into how Magentic-One actually tackles those challenges.
Yes, please. Because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this whole team of AI agents working together without, causing a digital meltdown.
Right. It all comes back to the orchestrator.
Okay.
Keeping everyone in check. So let's think about a task like booking a flight, but with a little twist.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a travel agent.
Okay.
And you need to book a trip with multiple cities for a family. They've got dietary restrictions, specific seating preferences, and a really tight budget.
Oh boy, that's a lot for a human to handle.
Yeah, exactly. And even more for an AI.
Right. So it's not just finding the cheapest flight from point A to point B. This is like a multi-layered travel puzzle.
It is. And it's the kind of thing that would make even a seasoned travel agent sweat.
Yeah, for sure.
But Magentic-One's orchestrator can break down this crazy task into smaller, manageable steps.
Okay.
It sends out the web browsing agent to search all the different airline websites. At the same time, the data analysis agent is comparing prices, routes, layover times, all that stuff.
So it's like having an army of digital travel agents.
Yes.
All working perfectly in sync.
Each one focused on a tiny part of the problem.
Okay, I see. And then what?
Well, as those agents are collecting information, they're feeding it back to the orchestrator. And the orchestrator uses that information to refine the plan based on the user's preferences.
So it's like a dynamic itinerary that updates itself in real time.
Exactly. It's pretty incredible.
Okay. I'm starting to see the potential here. Booking flights is one thing, but what about something more creative like writing code?
Yeah, good question.
Is Magentic-One going to replace programmers anytime soon?
Well, let's not jump ahead too far.
Okay.
But the research does highlight the fact that Magentic-One has agents that can write and execute Python code.
Hold on, Python code. So it's not just copying and pasting from the internet. It's actually creating original code.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we're not talking about building some crazy software application just yet.
Okay.
But imagine you need to analyze a ton of data, the kind of thing that would take a human hours or even days to go through.
Right.
The orchestrator could tell the data analysis agent to pull out the important info. And then it could tell the coding agent to write a Python script to do calculations, make visualizations, or even generate reports.
So it's like having a junior programmer on call.
Exactly.
Ready to handle all those boring, repetitive tasks.
Exactly. It frees up human programmers to focus on the more interesting stuff.
Right, the stuff that AI can't do yet.
Right. And this is just the beginning.
Oh, wow.
As those coding agents get more advanced, we could see them doing even more complex things.
It's wild to think that an AI could do things that require so much human expertise.
I know, right?
But it also makes me wonder about the implications for us humans.
Yeah.
With all this talk about AI taking over jobs, I have to ask, what does this mean for people?
That's the big question.
And it leads perfectly into the final part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We'll explore the broader impact of technology like Magentic-One.
Right. Because
Yeah.
as awesome as it is, we can't ignore the potential effects it could have on everything.
Right.
From the future of work to education to our everyday life. So stay tuned.
All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, AI taking over the world.
Yeah, the big question everyone's thinking about.
Exactly. We've all seen those movies where AI takes over, leaving us humans with nothing to do.
Right.
So is Magentic-One going to steal our jobs?
Yeah. Well, instead of thinking about it like taking over, what if we thought about it more like AI handling the stuff it's good at?
Okay.
all those repetitive tasks that most of us wouldn't mind getting rid of.
Yeah, like data entry or scheduling meetings.
Exactly.
I would love to get rid of those things. So you're saying I could focus on more creative or strategic work?
Yeah, exactly.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that require us to change how we think about work and even education?
It would. Imagine a world where education focused less on just memorizing facts, which, let's be honest, an AI can do instantly.
Yeah.
And more about teaching critical thinking, problem solving, all those things that make us human.
Less memorizing, more innovating. I like it. But what about people who don't have the resources to learn all these new skills?
Right.
Could this tech make the gap between the haves and the have-nots even bigger?
That's a really important point, and it's something we have to think about carefully as we use more and more AI.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just develop the tech.
Right.
We have to make sure everyone has access to the education and training they need.
So it's a societal challenge as much as a technological one.
It is.
We need to talk about how we want to build this future with AI and make sure it works for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where being open source is so important for Magentic-One.
Okay, why is that?
Well, having the code available to everyone means more people can help develop it and make sure it represents everyone's needs, not just a small group of people.
That makes sense. This has been a wild ride. We've gone from the inner workings of Magentic-One to the future of work and education and even our place in a world full of AI.
And what I find so fascinating is that Magentic-One, even though it's super impressive, it's really just a glimpse of what might be possible.
Okay.
It's pushing the boundaries of what we thought AI could do. It's a catalyst.
So it's not just about the tech itself.
No.
It's about the possibilities, it opens up the new questions it asks, and the conversations it starts.
Right. And those conversations are important. We have to talk about the ethics, the potential risks, and how we can all work together to shape this future with AI in a positive way.
That's a great point. Well, this brings us to the end of our deep dive into Magentic-One. But I want to leave you with one last thought. If this system can already handle tasks that only humans could do before, what other possibilities are out there? What problems are waiting to be solved? Maybe the next big AI breakthrough will come from you. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.